decide you're going to start something, right? That discipline, the ability to do customer discovery really fast, understanding how to prototype and get feedback, and being part of a world-class organization sets you up really, really well to go decide how you might build one. And I, even earlier tonight, I got this question of like, well, how do I know if I want to start something? Because product founders actually are probably the profile that VCs like the most. People who've built product, people who understand how to work with customers, people who understand how to work with and recruit an engineering team and really motivate a team to deliver for customers. I would say a few things on that. So the framework's a little different because it's not someone hiring you, it's you making the decision. I think, the most important is it a problem that you're deeply passionate about, whether it's the customer, the pain point, the market. Like, you have to wake up every day and want to solve that problem because there's a lot of ups and downs. It's an unbelievable learning experience. But it might sound a little trite to say like the highs are high and the lows are low, and they actually also often happen in the same 15-minute period for most entrepreneurs, and like 10 times in a day because there's so much uncertainty and all the decisions are on your shoulder. So if you're thinking about doing it, I think there's no better place to do it than in Silicon Valley. There's no better way to do it than as a product person because you've got all the foundational skills that a lot of non-product founders, it's very painful learning process to learn customer development, to learn prototyping, to de-risk all of that and fundraise and recruit a team. So you definitely have an advantage. But I would just say before you do it, make sure you're in love with the problem and the customer, would be my advice. So that's sort of stages. The next theme I want to talk about is in thinking about your career is how much learning matters. All right. I think if there's one thing you really think about in terms of each new opportunity, I would challenge you to ask yourself, am I learning and growing? Am I able to apply the things I've learned before in a new environment, in a new setting, and make an impact? Because learning really ends up being the thing that stands out. It's like a macro theme of exceptional product leaders. I think in all the interview processes I've been a part of, whether it's hiring a junior PM to hiring an SVP of product, I think it's all about the person's approach to learning. Are they curious? Not just curious about product and software. The best people are super curious about everything in life. Like, you'll find that they have the most interesting outside habits or hobbies, right? They're beekeepers, they're brewing something in their garage, and they haven't exploded their garage, even though they're brewing something. They fix up cars and go race them on the weekend. They're just deeply curious about like how the world works. And each of you probably has that. And I would, if you aren't spending enough time fostering your hobbies, I would say go do more of that. It makes you a better product person. They're deeply curious about other human beings and empathetic, right? They care a lot about what really is the pain point, what's the emotional pain the person is having that my product or service, whether it's software or analog, can solve. And making sure you spend a lot of human time with other people and asking those questions, because we can get in front of our screens too much. And I think that empathy building is so critical. They're also great product people are super decisive. Once they've got the information, it doesn't have to be perfect. They're willing to make a call. And I think that's a discipline and a practice and a habit that's super important to build in your career, is knowing when and how to make that decision and following through on that decision. And I think great product people are able to make those decisions because they stay open. They're willing to be wrong. If my decision is wrong and the data comes back and it tells me this isn't what customers want, I'm going to go to the next option, right? Or in fact, I've been testing simultaneously 4 different things because I'm not in love with my idea. I'm in love with the customer and I'm in love with the problem. And so there's multiple ways to solve that. So if those are the qualities of a great product person and what recruiters and executives look for, how do you foster that? And how do you make sure you're investing in that? And how do you apply that learning mindset to your career? So this is going to be, this is like, a kindergarten slide for product managers, like hypothesis, test, learn, iterate, right? You do this every day. You're probably encouraging your teams to do more of that. You're probably trying to talk your boss not into over-investing in something that it doesn't seem like customers want. And you're like, do a paper prototype before we invest. So you do this in your day job. But when you think about your career, and when I have this conversation with people about how to apply all that learning and curiosity and hypothesis testing to their career, people freak out sometimes, because back to like, we are planners. I want to know that the next career move is going to be the right career move. And if I'm doing really well and valued at a company that I'm at right now and I'm learning and growing, how do I even decide what conversation to have, or how to explore an earlier stage, or how to explore in a later stage? So my proposal to you is take this same process and apply it to your career and career decisions. And you're going to ask me how. I knew you're going to ask me, well, how do I do that, Anne? That sounds like super easy with software and super hard with careers, because you can't just like test applying to a job and decide, is that right or not? So 3 ideas for you. One is be an advisor. Great product people are in hot demand to be advisors. So let's say you're in a consumer company and you think, wow, this B2B space, Asana looks awesome, this B2B space, but I'm not a B2B product manager. How would they even think about me? Would they want me as a product manager? Well, Asana and all B2B companies often serve consumer companies. They are, they really want to understand the mindset of the consumer buyer within a fast growth. Let's say you're in retail. How do you think about the systems that your employees use to manage projects, to meet customer service needs, to run IT, right? Like, you're a customer. So as a customer leading product within a target customer of a B2B company, you're an incredible advisor to the product team. And it's a great way to, 1, learn more about the product, and 2, learn, would I want to wake up every day and go solve a B2B challenge? And also, like, how do you bring the consumer mindset? Increasingly, B2B software is all about the funnel and acquisition and conversion. So there's a lot of pattern recognition between the two. But a way to de-risk it before you're like, okay, well, all I know is e-commerce. How am I going to be relevant to B2B? Being an advisor is a great way to meet people and kind of stress test that. The second I would say is consult. Maybe you're ready for a change, and you're ready to stop doing what you're doing today full time, but you're not ready to make the leap yet, and you don't know of those stages. Maybe you've been at a growth stage, but you haven't been at early yet, and you haven't been at a later scaling stage, and you can't, just looking on paper or doing interviews doesn't give you enough data. I have a friend who was a product leader at Optimizely. I worked with her at SurveyMonkey. She did a stint in VC. She has a backlog of consulting opportunities as a product leader. And it's a way that she is de-risking stage, because she's been at growth stage. She's been at companies that have a product team already, but not a huge one, at a certain revenue stage. And she has no idea, is it going to work for me to be the first person working with a founder? She also is kind of nervous about a big public company, and not sure she's the right culture fit. So she's just doing a whole bunch of consulting projects. And each one, not only is she delivering and getting to know the customer and getting to know the product team and who she'd work with, she's using it as a lens to go inside a company and decide, can I just be the first product person sitting next to a founder? Am I super excited about that, or is it going to drive me nuts? Can I walk in every day to a bigger company where lots of people don't know each other, and there's multiple campuses around the world? How does that feel for me? And she's using this process to de-risk it. And then the last, I would say, especially on do you want to start something, is prototype it. Use your prototyping skills. Do something on the side. I have lots of people who are product friends who think they want to be an entrepreneur, but it's a big risk. Like, we have bills to pay, mortgages, might be raising kids. So how do you de-risk it? And some of it is just spending some time on the side, building a prototype, getting feedback. Don't quit your day job. And you will get a lot of feedback pretty quickly on both for yourself and for your product on is there a there? Um, a friend of mine, her one of her best friends who's a great product person, she just told me, oh, he quit his day job because his candy empire online that he was running on the side has grown so big that it's making more, like if he quits his day job and runs his online candy business that's gone global, it'll be like it generates more revenue and more income for him than continuing to be a product manager. But it literally was something he was like, there's all these candy brands that I can't find or I can't find them and get them shipped to me immediately, meaning like in, less than like either the same day or the next day. And he went and built this. And so now he's running a candy empire. I thought that was just like the best story ever. So apply